Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of What Are You Talking About?
Episode 3.
Ooh, episode 3. And I guess, we'll just jump right into it and talk about the most pressing matter that has happened in our region of the world.
Fucking wild.
The snow. The enormous snowfall we had here in Georgia.
Yeah, the fact that it was, I don't know if I broke any records.
I think it was
but it was close.
About 4 inches, maybe a little less, a little more.
Oh, no. North Georgia got 18.
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh my god.
North Georgia got 18 inches of snow in
and
some spots. I think Cobb County got 6 to 8.
Jeez, man.
In
That's
some
a lot.
Spots. That's a fuck ton of snow.
That is a lot of snow. At some places when we were walking, it went up to almost my knees.
Yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
like, this is Georgia. Come on.
It was tripping me out. Every time I walked outside, I was like, are we fucking Georgia still?
I know. And everybody's like, global warming's going to kill the earth. It's like, I don't know.
Global warming is a lie.
I don't know about that one. Yeah, I mean, and I have to add in something else. I didn't see half as many stupid drivers.
Oh, I saw
people who were
drivers.
You did?
Oh yeah.
I didn't see very many. I didn't see people that were so confident in the fact that they could get out. No one else could get out, but they can get out.
No, I saw a couple.
So,
on Wooten Lake, if you guys don't live around here, Wooten Lake's a really it's just super steep down, super steep up. It's like a big valley next to a little river, not river, like a little pond.
And in terms of ice and snow, it's pretty huge.
Yeah,
it's a feat.
And so when I was first walking, me, Aidan, and Jillian, his girlfriend, we all kind of met up to go get food.
Our aim was McDonald's, but
power was out.
As fate would have it, the Transformers pretty much everywhere exploded.
Yeah, it wasn't just the ice cream machine this time; it was the whole store.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. Hey, can I get a vanilla cone? Oh, our ice cream's out of order.
Not working.
Also, little conspiracy about that.
Say the same thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at one point in the night, most McDonald's choose a time where they say it's broken, but it's really they just don't want to clean it.
Yep. Or they have already cleaned it and they don't want to re-clean it after
which
more ice cream.
Which is pretty ridiculous to think that a 24-hour McDonald's, which is a point in time,
a drunken stoner hotspot.
Because if I go there,
off the ice cream machine.
Yeah, if I go there 3 hours later and it's 6 in the morning, that ice cream machine is fucking working.
Yeah.
So what? The night crew at McDonald's also kind of sucks. Any McDonald's you go to.
They're not that great.
They're like, I'm pretty sure they're all stoned out of their mind. They're like, ice cream doesn't exist at 12 o'clock at night.
But I was walking down Wooden Lake to meet up with those guys, and I saw this guy. If you don't know how to drive in the snow, it's very simple. Just don't slam on the brakes. And don't slam on the gas.
And don't make
careful.
hard turns.
It's not that difficult. It's really not that
Use your
difficult.
momentum to get up the ice. Because if you're putting on the gas, the likelihood is your tires are going to slip. So you just, Let
me tell you what this guy did. Saw this guy. He was going down the hill just fine. And he got maybe 2/3 of the way down. Stopped. And then just gunned it. Trying to get up the other side of the hill. And he got maybe a third or half of the way up, and then just tires were spinning, and he just kept stepping on the gas even harder.
God.
So his engine's going like crazy. It was like a loud car. It was like a cut exhaust or something on like a Honda Pilot, and just loud as shit. And he just kept gunning it, and I was standing next to this car. I was standing 5 feet away from this car, and I was like, I need to get behind this barrier because he's going to do something stupid and kill me.
He's going to turn and come down the hill sideways.
I hopped on the other side of those metal barriers, and I was walking on the side of it, slipping in the snow because I didn't want to die from this dumbass that doesn't understand basic physics.
Man.
Ridiculous.
I feel like that's a common theme in Georgia. It's these ridiculous people who are ice is pretty much applicable to anybody except me because my car is awesome.
No, you guys don't know how to drive in the snow. I know how to drive in the snow. When they've all lived in Georgia their entire lives. Listen,
you've lived in the snow. I'm pretty sure I've been alive in the same span you've been alive.
Yeah.
So, if I see people that can't drive in the snow, what makes you so special?
Nothing.
Unless you add zip ties to your car, then you got a better chance.
Yeah,
but still, or chains.
Yeah. Part of the problem, everyone gives me shit. Or gives Georgia people and Southerners shit when it snows. People I have friends in Ohio and New York and places up north. Like, why can't you guys just drive in the snow? It's like, it's not that simple. Like, we don't switch tires when it gets cold or when it starts to snow. We don't have winter tires.
And also, we don't just get snow like in the north. A lot of times they get just snow.
Just snow.
But when our snow hits the ground, our ground is hot.
Yeah.
So or hotter than snow. It melts the snow, and then we get water on the ground. Right. And then the temperature continues to drop throughout the day, and then we get ice.
Yeah.
See, your grounds are cold up in Ohio.
Ice isn't nearly as common up north.
At all. No. Your ground is cold in Ohio.
Once it drops below 0, or once it drops below freezing, rather, it just stays there for the majority of the winter.
Yeah.
At least in some places up north. But
and the ground is, most often cold enough to just have the snow stick rather than melt and then have ice.
Yeah. Also, Georgia's budget for treating the roads in the winter is like $6. I think they just send a guy to Home Depot or Walmart and pick up a bag of salt, and he just tries to spread it across the whole state.
Those guys that go.
I didn't see a single truck the whole 3 days we had snow.
I saw one snowplow Ford F-250.
Yeah, but that could have just been some guy.
Yeah, I think it was just some dude who knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
he's like, listen, I got this attachment I can hook to my grill, and I can just lower it down, and I will be anywhere I want. I can go get some Wendy's. Oh yeah, buddy.
Except all the Wendy's were out of
Well, yeah, that's true. What a depressing. But the snow is, and add on to this, the snow is really fun for about a day or two.
Yeah.
And then you get to day 3, and we didn't really get a day 3, but we've had day 3s in the past.
Well, we kind of did.
Yeah.
We had Friday night, Saturday, and then Sunday morning. Yeah. Sunday morning was the iciest.
There's snow still out some places.
Yeah, there's still snow in my front yard.
You get snow for 1 or 2 days, and you're like, oh, yay, this is so much fun. And you get on day 3, and your feet get wet, and you're driving to work, and you're like, oh, kill me.
Yep.
Why does this have to happen to us?
It was cool. I got a day off work. And then the second day hit, and I was like, I have to get to work somehow, because I can't be broke. I need to work.
I need that paycheck.
Yeah.
You soon realize that your paycheck means a lot more to you than not going to work on a fun snow day. Mm-hmm. One is good.
Well, the first day I couldn't even get it. I mean, I could have gotten there, but I would have been 5 hours late and only gotten a couple hours of work. It was
is it worth it? I don't have a 4-wheel drive car, so I'm probably going to get stuck.
Right.
And freeze my butt off and have to walk back home.
Right.
However many miles I get away.
Yeah, and it's still freezing outside, so works.
Yeah, and
still sucks.
You're crying, but your tears are freezing to your cheek.
And no one would come by trees, so I'd just be sitting in the tree tent alone with my feet
freezing.
Not
your toes
feeling.
Would be falling
off. I couldn't feel my feet.
Yeah. You gotta get yourself a pair of proper snowshoes.
Yeah, I know.
Snow boots or whatever they call them.
My bright idea was I'm going to ask for some nice boots for Christmas, but then I realized I don't need them after Christmas.
Are we gonna get any more snow?
I don't think we're getting any more Christmas trees after Christmas. Oh, yeah, snow's fun. Got a couple days.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Sledding was
disruption.
Fun. It was fluffy snow too, which made it a lot better.
It was good snow.
Yeah, snowball packing.
Typical Georgia snow, where it snows and it's fun for that first
and
day.
The top layer melts.
Yeah, top layer melts and then freezes, so you get a
ice
sheet
layer
of ice over snow. It's not even stepping in snow anymore. You're just stepping on sheets of ice.
You go to dive in to make a snow angel, and you realize that you just
crack
dove
your
on
back.
Concrete.
Yeah, it was good. It was good snow.
Yeah, it was
real snow.
It was an enjoyable day in 2 days, and I think it lasted just as long as it should have lasted. If we get another one of these storms later on, in a couple weeks,
right?
I'd welcome it if it was this long.
Ooh, what if it happened this much
Christmas? Ooh,
we haven't had a snowy Christmas, I think, in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while, and people wish for it. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Sing it.
Just like the ones I used to know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I wouldn't mind another one.
Yeah, so I guess we should move on to another big event that happened in our sister state, Alabama, with the race for Senate.
Mm-hmm. It was between Roy Moore and Doug Jones, and it was incredibly close.
If you don't know the story, we'll just break it down really fast because I don't want to really dive into it too much. But Roy Moore is a Republican senator out of Alabama, and Doug Jones is a Democratic senator out of Alabama. And they have... Candidates, sorry. Yeah. They're not actually senators. Well, Roy Moore is now. Roy Moore is not now. Yeah, Doug Jones won. Anyway, Man, I'm screwing this up. Anyway, there were a lot of pedophilic accusations at Roy Moore.
Yeah.
And it all went. It ranged from a 14-year-old who was in high school at the time. He was older and a judge. These are all from the past, like 30 years ago, most of them.
Yeah, they were pretty old.
And one of them, we talked about it before, Miss Phillips, claimed she was 16 and was...
the wild story from... Was that last podcast?
I think so.
The first one?
No, it was episode 2, I'm pretty sure. And Miss Phillips was accused Roy Moore of raping her and impregnating her at 16. 30 years later comes out, and then we later find that was...
It was all part of a
slander campaign. Yeah, pretty much.
Plot to discredit the left.
Yeah.
To accuse...
Pretty ridiculous.
It was crazy.
But there's still like 3 accusations, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think there's 2, 3. But
one consisting of a 14-year-old, I think a 12-year-old, and a 15-year-old. I think were all of them. But the thing is none of these were actually proven.
Right.
I'm not speaking on Roy Moore's behalf because I don't really know a lot about the cases or anything like that. And all I'm saying is that these were actually alleged cases of molestation, and I don't think any of them were actually rape, but molestation for sure.
Statutory rape. But
yeah.
Regardless.
So I mean, we don't really know yet whether or not they were true. I mean, there's some evidence that would say it is, but my personal opinion on this is I don't think somebody who is accused should be able to be, because if he was, if he got the seat in the Senate, and then we find out that it was actually all true, and all 3, in worst case, all 3 were correct, then you have a child molester in Senate, and I just don't agree with that. And sure, you could vote him out, but I think it's better
if they were found guilty, I believe they could. Would be. I don't know if impeached is still the right word.
I don't know, just kicked out basically.
Yeah.
But I think it's better to err on the side of caution in this situation.
I don't know. Innocent until proven guilty still applies.
Yeah, but I mean...
And my theory was that after the whole thing came out about that one false allegation is... everyone would be a lot more skeptical of the others, but I guess it didn't hold true because, I think all these allegations were a huge impact because Roy Moore was a huge favorite. Yeah. And all the typical red counties still voted incredibly in Roy Moore's favor. Something super interesting that we found out is that there were a total of 22,819 write-ins for someone other than Doug Jones and Roy Moore. And it turns out, I believe almost all of them were for Nick Saban. Which accounted, this 22,000 and some odd accounted for 1.7% of the total vote. So if all of those people had voted for Roy Moore, he would have won.
By a larger percent than Doug Jones won.
Yeah, it was super close. And if those ratings has all gone towards Roy Moore.
Oh my God. But I think with my vote personally, I would have erred on the side of caution because I wouldn't, even if it was for somebody that was against my political side. Right. I think I would like to err on the side of caution just in case, because if somebody that turned out to be a child molester was in Senate and I got them there, I'd feel I'd have a little guilty conscience. For sure. But there is innocent until proven guilty, and I completely believe that in that country. That's why we're so great. Due process. Yeah. But I just say personally, because of the accusations, because there was more than one, I definitely would have sided with caution and voted for the other side. I would have bit the bullet.
Well, here's the interesting thing is I bet you now that the race is over, all these accusations are going to disappear.
Yeah, either through settlement or through they
were fake.
Stop. Yeah, maybe.
It was similar with Donald Trump going into office. There were 8 women who tried to accuse him of rape or sexual harassment or whatever, and as soon as he was voted into office, they all disappeared. I think there's one still going on in the court. I think they're trying to figure out still if
the president of the United States could be involved in civil court disputes, because I don't think it's ever been a problem before, and I think they're actually, because he's not allowed to be federally persecuted or by a state. Presidents are not. Right. So I think even if like now they found him to be guilty of tax fraud, he couldn't go to court over it until he was out of office.
Really?
Yeah. So they're still trying to decide if civil disputes are the same way, if they should act as the same thing. I'm pretty sure they're still trying to find that out. So, I mean, these women can go through civil court. They either have to wait until he's out of office, or if they find that it's lawful you're able to have a civil dispute with the president. Maybe we will find some more out about that. But we really don't know right now.
Well, wouldn't rape be a criminal charge, not a civil charge?
It depends, because you don't necessarily because you can't be charged criminally as president. You could, if they find it lawful for you to be able to go through a civil dispute, that's what they would do.
Okay.
They would want to get money out of it.
Right.
Rather than wait the 4 years and then try to get him convicted.
That's true.
So, I mean, who knows? We really don't know. It's really still all up in the air right now.
For sure.
But what we do know is Roy Moore is not in the Senate.
Yeah.
So,
which is still interesting because the Republicans still hold the majority by two, I think.
And it's kind of weird to see Alabama of all states with a Democratic senator.
No, I mean it's one of the most red
wild
states in this incredible union we have.
And what is going on?
But it's one Senate position.
In
an overall red state that typically still votes red. I think it was kind of a one-off situation with.
I think
the
world is definitely changing.
Yeah.
You can see the world is changing. That this is even plausible and happened is just kind of wild.
Strange for sure.
So I guess we can move on a little bit.
Yeah,
do
you want to talk about some conspiracies?
I definitely want to talk about some conspiracies and go, further onto that vein, but we'll get to some of that later. I just want to talk about conspiracies in general because a lot of conspiracies have been popping up recently. I guess, well, not popping up, but being redug up.
The biggest one popping up recently has been the flat Earth, which isn't really a conspiracy. I think it's more of just a dumb theory.
I think it's a theory with a weird ass conspiracy around it.
Yeah, with the wall and the gunpoint thing and.
We've been up for flat earthers multiple times. I think we mentioned them on the first and second podcast.
Yeah, Mad Mike Hughes still hasn't launched his rocket.
Still, he can't get the permits to launch out of the ghost town.
He hasn't posted anything since early November.
I think the flat Earth is okay. Let's just get this straight. Flat Earth is ridiculous. Why would the governments of the world all be able to agree on one thing, and that is we need to hide that the Earth is round from people? We can't even agree on making sure that we don't kill innocent people. Why would anyone agree? They're like, listen, I know we don't agree on literally anything, but China, we need to agree that our people need to be deceived about the world being flat.
But Aiden, if the Earth was round, why wouldn't, if I drop water on the ground, why wouldn't it just, go...
How come when you fly an airplane straight, you don't fly off the Earth if it's round?
I mean, these are all good questions.
It's flat. I think, honestly, the craziest thing about this is that people honestly believe that the world is surrounded in a ring of ice. That
people with guns.
And guarded at gunpoint. Who are these people? Who are these wall livers? The ice wall livers that... Are the governments of the world shipping guns to them to make sure that nobody explores outside of the wall?
The Night's Watch.
Is it
just the modern version of the Night's Watch from Game of Thrones?
Jon Snow is up there, but it's like Jon Snow's great grandson.
Yeah. Grandfather.
What?
No, grandson.
Yeah, grandson.
I
I think. All right, here's one, and I want to hear your opinion on this, whether you believe it or not, because the more I read into it and the more I find out about it, the more likely I am to believe this conspiracy in some aspects.
Okay.
How do you feel about the JFK shooting?
What about it? I think it's... I mean, there's...
Do you think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone?
Ooh, I've never really thought about that.
Okay, so if you look up some things, because I honestly do know quite a bit about this through a man named Mick West, who he was a video game creator. He made Tony Hawk, a lot of the Tony Hawk games, the good Tony Hawk games. Right. Mick West was involved in. He's a debunker, a professional debunker. So he has a website.
Title?
Yeah. Actually, it is. He goes around debunking things that, honestly, I believe almost all of what he says. Except for this, he believes he is open to the possibility that Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone. But he sides with the the standing theory that he did. He just fired off multiple shots.
Right.
But the more you find out about this and the more you go back and look at the actual things, it's really hard to, research this conspiracy and get facts because there's so many opinions and so many books. I think there's like over 1,000 now. Huh. It's something ridiculous.
Well, the weird thing is Trump recently released the JFK...
The documents.
But not all of them.
Yeah, which is still pretty weird. Me.
His whole thing was like complete transparency.
Yeah.
But the CIA wouldn't let him release all of it.
And the fact that one, they're still secret about it, even though it's been done for forever, and also that this conspiracy still stands as something that people aren't 100% able to prove Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Right. And the thing that's weird is the bullet that went through JFK's neck also hit the man sitting right next to him, Vice President. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Well, whatever. We'll remember. Yeah, but anyway, hit his wrist.
Yeah.
And broke his wrist. Enough power to break his wrist.
Okay.
But if you see the actual footage, the bullet doesn't travel in a pattern that would hit his wrist, really. If you take into consideration ballistics. Also, when they find the bullet, because they do find the bullet and they show a picture of the bullet, it's very pristine looking. Not like it went through somebody's neck and hit somebody's wrist. Because if you know anything about any bullets at all, when a bullet hits something, especially bone, it damages the bullet significantly.
Well, I mean, that all depends on what kind of bullet, but that's a different discussion.
In almost every situation, though, if a bullet hits you, even if it's a huge bullet, like a 50 cal, even if it hits you and hits your bone, it'll go through you easy.
Well, did it hit his bone? I don't know.
It broke his wrist, the man sitting next to him.
Right.
But
this was after it had traveled through JFK.
Yeah, through his neck. This is what they say.
So it could have slowed down enough to just break his wrist and not.
Yeah, and they say that it went through JFK's. They said it went through JFK's neck, but didn't hit any bone either, which is also hard to believe because if you know, especially how bullets act. When you hit a target, the bullet doesn't just travel straight through, even if it hits just flesh. Oftentimes, it is redirected. And I don't necessarily not believe that it could have, done that because bullets do crazy things. They're almost unpredictable when you hit something. What it's going to do.
I mean, it all depends on what kind of bullet. Because I'm really into guns, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah,
but it all depends if it was using like a precision bullet where it was designed for maybe long distance sport shooting. They're very pointed and they want to stay together when they hit something. If he was using a hollow point, which is a lot of self-defense rounds are hollow points. They have literally a hole in the center so that when they hit, they break up. If he was going to kill, I would think he would use a hollow point.
It says here he used a 6.5 millimeter Carcano rifle used by Lee Harvey Oswald. So,
does it say what kind of bullet?
6.5 by 52 millimeter cartridge. So I mean, but still, when you hit something that's not like a target, like a paper target, when you hit something of substance, it's very unlikely that you are able to know what that bullet will do.
That's true.
Because bullets do all kinds of crazy things when they hit things. Because I mean. The variables are just insane. Wind pattern, how fast the bullet is spinning when it comes out of the barrel, what size bullet, what caliber bullet, if the target was moving or not, which he was in a car. So, I mean, to say that it could have hit his wrist that it couldn't have hit his wrist, that bullet could not have is kind of, you don't really know that for sure. But the amount that the bullet looked damaged is just I'm skeptical about it. Also,
that's fair.
There are many reports that people heard things behind them, which chaos causes you to remember things that don't actually not necessarily happened, or like the fact that there was a bullet that ricocheted off the overpass that JFK went under in his car and hit a man, I think in the leg, and hit somebody. That is something that happened, and I don't think that's possible for one shooter from the angle Oswald was at. Right. I don't think that necessarily could have happened. I mean, it can go either way, really.
Yeah, it's definitely something.
There is substance to this conspiracy. That's one of the few conspiracies that I believe in. To another ridiculous one is people who don't believe that we actually landed on the moon. It's just kind of like ridiculous to me.
I don't.
I can see. Listen, here is one that I can actually kind of see where people are coming from. We went up there to prove to the Russians that we are better as a country. We didn't want them to get the upper hand because if they made it to the moon first, they would obviously have some sort of upper hand on us for some reason or another. They were the first in space, so we had to be the first to the moon.
Contest,
but I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Hey, Russia, my dick's bigger.
Like, why would we lie about that? And people like,
I mean, we would lie to hey, look, Russia, my dick's bigger. That's why we would lie.
Yeah,
there's so much. Like
we definitely
ridiculous amounts of proof.
We definitely landed on the moon. We got moon rocks that we bring back, and people are like, no, those are just
regular rocks.
Those are regular rocks that they hollowed out and stuff.
Yeah. Aidan.
Okay.
Lizard people. What do you think? Is Mark Zuckerberg a lizard man?
Okay, have you seen the videos of him though? Have you seen the if you have seen the video of him taking his little virtual avatars in virtual reality, with the goofy ass looking, and they're looking using these things to walk around the destruction in Puerto Rico after the hurricane.
And they're like cracking jokes.
It's the most horrible thing, and they're smiling. Their goofy ass avatars are smiling. It's the most ridiculous.
He recently went on like a whole thing to prove that he's normal. Like he had people take pictures of him eating normal food.
He went on this whole countrywide. He was just visiting places. Yeah. It's like that's not something that normal people do. You know that, right?
No,
it's like, and he was like eating a sandwich. He's like, "Here, take a picture of me eating the sandwich."
And he's like, he's got like a mouthful, and he's like got a thumbs up with the sandwich in the other hand.
What? It's so ridiculous.
You know what he's doing? He's trying to blend in better with the real humans.
I don't think he's a lizard person, but I wouldn't doubt it if one day he came out and all the technology started attacking us, and he came out and killed the president and like ripped off this mask, and he was like, "I am Alpha Z75 Omega. I have been waiting for this moment my entire functioning." Him and Elon Musk. I think you know how Elon Musk is like
a genius.
Elon Musk is like insane. he's like, "Hey man, we better watch out for that AI. I think he's one. I think he is a robot. He acts like a robot.
He does. He's weird.
Eerily weird. Eerily weird. And he's in with all the celebrities and stuff. And he's like, just remember, guys, be careful. Robots are going to take over. But simultaneously, he's making technology a huge part of people's lives. He's building giant batteries to power cities and cars and like making stop stations for Teslas. He wants to get those to be like...
What do you mean stop stations? Like charging stations?
Yeah, it's basically like his plan is to get Tesla gas stations, basically, where you go in, you give them your battery, and you get a new battery.
Ooh, that's cool.
And you just drive.
I like that.
It's like, but it's like
it's the future.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
The man that's also saying, watch out for robots, is making the entire, like, his vision is a utopia of technology. Whoa. So it's like, kind of eerie.
Like there's a way to balance the utopia of technology and real anarchy like we live in now.
It's just kind of eerie, man. These guys are weird.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So,
speaking of weird, let's talk about ghosts.
Ghosts.
I know you've told me a lot of crazy ghost stories through your family and stuff.
I'm a believer in ghosts.
Oh, for sure, me too.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
like I find it hard to believe that such a thing as ghosts has been around for so long, and people have like documented proof. Well, maybe not documented proof, but documented evidence of their personal ghost stories. Mm-hmm. And I think if you want to get into a psychological kind of perspective on ghosts, like if your, say, grandmother passes away, and then you are sitting in your house alone, and something moves or something talks to you, and you think it's your grandmother, that is as real to you as a ghost could be.
For sure. Yeah.
Even if it's not actually happening. So if you hear your grandmother say, I love you, I'm passing on. That is as real to your head. That is as real to your head as any ghost could ever be. Because, I mean, that basically is a ghost, even if it's not technically affecting the environment around you, really. Right. But I also, that's not just my view on ghosts. I also do believe that ghosts actually exist. Yeah. Just from the stories I've heard and the creepy things that have happened to me, I just think that there is maybe not, or maybe I side with the more scientific-ish explanation of them. Maybe it's like energy from that person that's left over, and they're just doing the things that person would do.
Yeah, what was that called? I watched a shit ton of Ghost Adventures. There's like two kinds. There's like ones where it's like
specters, I think.
Well, no, there's two kinds of like hauntings. There was like one where it's like a recording repeating itself over and over, and then there's one that's like an active.
I think the difference between one, like I think one is like a spectral anomaly or something, where it is like that thing where the energy from one person's life is still there, and it's just on loop of what they would normally do or normally say in a situation like that. Especially I believe if somebody is, thinking hard enough or putting essence through their head enough, like they're about to pass, and they know they're about to pass, and they're, oftentimes when people are about to pass, they're really weak. They're in and out of sleep. They're fainting. They're passing out.
Right.
And I think enough of them wants to be here that something is actually left behind when they actually do pass.
Energy or something. Or,
exactly. And I don't think it actually has to be measurable scientifically. I just think it is a possibility. Mm-hmm. And I think there's another theory that the things that are living on their own, or like demonic sort of, things that are able to think and behave and act by themselves.
Yeah.
I think the theory on that is that they are demons, and I don't know how I feel about that.
No, because that goes into religion. And
I don't really assign myself to any religion, and I don't think I also don't think maybe something you could think is acting alone because it's having a bad effect, like somebody who has so much like malice in them and is thinking so hard about bad things that when they pass, the energy they leave behind is something bad, something negative. Maybe, but I think the things that you would see, just like the things that you would see in somebody who's thinking about dying and just wanting to stay alive and the energy on a loop, I think the opposite to that is something bad that's in a loop. Somebody's thinking so negatively, such negative energy, that the thing left behind isn't a positive or isn't just something, a manifestation of self.
Energy, right.
Yeah, it's just a negative, negative energy that causes bad things. And I think the more open you are to that negative energy, and I honestly believe this because this goes into psychology. The more negative you are, the more susceptible you are to a negative thing taking advantage of you, because it is psychologically, people can be so negative and so down on themselves that they make themselves have a chemical imbalance and be depressed. It is a thing. You can change your brain chemistry slightly. In a lot of situations, it's happened multiple times. People that are just so intent on being sad and they're just so stuck in their ways that they actually do make themselves have a chemical imbalance in their brain that needs to be corrected. So,
you've got a lot more opinions on ghosts than I do. I was just going to tell some ghost stories or something.
Yeah. You dove into that hard. Yeah.
I know you've got a bunch of crazy ghost stories from your family in Panama.
Panama, man. Panama.
That cabin one you were telling me that one time.
What cabin?
And at your house. There was like your cousin running or something. And
that was in Panama too. Panama, man. I tell you, Panama is the scariest place.
Yeah, and like witch hunts or something.
Yeah, so I guess.
It's crazy.
Do you want to tell one first before I dive in? I'm just going to speak ridiculously.
So I worked at
Tell Tom. Tell about Tom.
Oh, Tom was... I'm still not convinced Tom was a real ghost story. It was just like a weird thing that happened. I was like, this might be a ghost. So this was like, oh man, I was probably like 12 or 13. And I had gotten like one of those little voice recorders, like one of those little USB voice recorders, and I was playing around with it. just messing around with it, and I had left it on record. I had left the house to go do something with my family. I don't really remember. And it was just like left on record. I got back and I was like, oh, it's still recording. And it came with like a free audio software and everything. So I was messing around with it on the computer. And for the majority of the whole thing, it was, just flat. There was no waveforms or anything. There was no sound. And then there was a little spike. And I was like, what's that? Is that my dog or something? So I zoomed in on it and listened, and it was just like a voice going, I'm Tom. And I was like, what the fuck? Tom? So my 13-year-old,
the fuck you doing, Tom?
12, 13-year-old Adam was like, it's a ghost. And I was like freaking out and telling everyone about it. Now that I think about it, it was either a ghost or like
your dog breathing heavy, maybe?
Or I don't know, maybe the TV. I have no idea. It was really weird.
I'm Tom. It's like, that's the most like fun ghost, though.
Oh, yeah. He was like,
what's up? I'm Tom!
Introducing himself. What's up, boy? I'm Tom.
I'm Tom.
He's just letting me know.
He's just letting you know he's here watching over you.
And then for those of you who don't know, I worked at a camp past 4 years in Ohio called Ohio Dreams. You might have seen it if you don't know me. It's like the viral video went real big with the huge water slide with a ramp that goes into a pool. It's a really cool place. Go check it out.
Bert Kreischer was there.
Yeah, I was on
the
TV.
Machine.
Oh man, I was on
Cannonball
TV
contest.
with Bert Kreischer. I had a cannonball contest with Bert Kreischer on the Travel Channel.
Hey Bert, listen up. Give us some publicity, Bert.
Bert, I'm a big fan now. I didn't know you before, but hit me up. Let's collab. I want to get Bert Kreischer on this podcast.
Yes.
How sweet would that be? A reunion?
It would be
after
amazing.
The cannonball contest?
Yeah, you guys have so much
I've
animosity.
messaged him a couple times.
Really?
Since, and I don't know if he just doesn't get him or like what the deal is.
Maybe he just doesn't care.
Maybe I messaged him. He was in Ohio when I was up there, and I was like, Bert, listen, come back.
We
need you back. At
Cannonball
this camp.
contest V2.
Round 2. But that camp, the whole, it was centered in the Mohican. I believe it's a national forest. It's like a big nature reserve, and there's lots of ghost stories around there. There's one really long ghost story that we tell to the campers every Friday, or that Justin, the camp director, tells to the kids every Friday. I'm not going to do that one because it's super long. Maybe some other time. It's really long. It's like a 20-30 minute story to get the whole thing.
Share ghost stories.
But my personal experiences at that camp, there's a couple weird little things. So I was walking. So the camp's kind of separated. All the camp activities, the skate parks, the pool, the BMX stuff is on their property, and then they also lease out the Mohican School of Outdoors cabins for the summer because they don't use them in the summer. It's like an actual school. So there's a long path, probably half mile, that connects to the two, kind of just through the woods. So it's just a paved path and woods. And then there's a little pond and some trails that lead off that I guess kids have used or whatever.
Some good old outdoorsy stuff.
Yeah. So I didn't know any of the ghost stories when I first got there. So, happy Adam walking through the woods. And then this was maybe my third year. I was walking the path alone because the staff stays down after the campers go up. It's called staff sesh. We all go staff sesh. So we all go, skate in the skate park. I would I would take pictures because with the photographer there. And so I had stayed back to edit some pictures, and most of the people went up, and I had finished up, and I wasn't going to bother waiting for anyone, so I just walked back by myself. Flashlight and everything, I was like, whatever. And I guess it was the time of year or whatever, the frogs were out, like crazy. It was a frog mating season or something.
Oh, man.
So the frogs are going nuts as you're passing this pond, and it's just like a chorus of like frogs just screaming.
Sexual screams.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Frogs.
It's a really crazy sound. And then it all kind of faded for a second. It's
pretty eerie.
I don't know if this is a ghost story, but it's like...
It's
got to...
It's creepy.
I always think of ghosts.
Yeah.
Because of this camp and where it's centered and everything. And the frogs kind of fade for a second, and I hear like... It sounded similar to the frogs, but more human. It was like a scream, like a little girl scream.
Yeah, the frogs kind of sound like people screaming.
Well, no, but the frogs had faded.
Yeah.
And then the scream happened, and I was like, okay, and I
sprinted.
Bolted back to the door. I was like, nope, and I sprinted back. It was terrifying.
Yeah, man. Just being out there in the dark,
yeah,
in the woods, is just pretty scary.
Yeah, for sure. And it's especially when you know that there's history of possible ghosts.
Yeah,
and,
especially Indian burial ground.
Well, that's what it is.
Creepy.
It's a long. I'm not gonna go into it.
You hear all the stories, and you're like, oh.
Maybe I'll talk about it one day. We'll plan it or something, or maybe an extra.
Yeah, a little extra on the podcast.
Yeah. But it was
little treat.
I had heard stories from staff of like creepy shit happening. I'll tell one good one. One good one that the whole staff knows, and we used it to freak out the kids last year. It was really fun.
Is it true?
Yes, this is 100% true.
This is spooky.
I worked the staff members who were there when this happened, so I have firsthand accounts of this.
I just imagine a bunch of skater dudes like, "Whoa, bro, there's a guy, dude, he's tripping balls. What's your name, Ghosty, bro?"
It was kind of like that. But this was 2015, I think, 2015 or 2014 when this happened. So they had just finished. Every Friday we tell the ghost stories in the middle of the woods, build a little fire. Justin, the camp director,
it's such a camp thing.
Scares all the kids. It's the only like real camp thing about this summer camp. Everything else is skateboarding and water slides.
Gatorade bottle throwing.
Shout out to Ty the lifeguard, the ultimate bottle flipper. If you're listening. But I wasn't there. I was a camper that year actually. I had left before this. My week was before this. They had finished the campfire stories and they were all headed back. Everyone got in bed. Everyone was sleeping, and the dorms are separated. There's Apple, which is like the head staff and kind of the older staff members.
Yeah,
it's just staff, and then a lot of the younger staff and the counselors sleep in the dorms with the kids.
Yeah,
so it's separated, two complete separate buildings. So just everyone's sleeping. It was like 2-3 a.m. and a cop car pulls up to the adult dorm. Lights are going off, and Justin, the camp director, comes out, and he's like, "What's going on?" He's like, the sheriff's like, "Oh, we got a 911 call from this address," and the address was the kids' dorm. He was like, "Oh, let me go check this out." So they went down there. Every kid was completely asleep. So they were like, "Sorry." Justin was like, "Sorry. I'll make sure to keep an eye on the kids and everything, but I don't." They were convinced it was like a kid just messing with them. So whatever. So the next night, I believe this was a Friday night the first time. So there are no kids Saturday night unless there's a couple stay over kids for 2 weeks or whatever. Happens again. And Justin was like, "Oh, that's weird." The sheriff shows up, do the whole thing again. So now they start looking into it, and they're like, he called the what's the word? Dispatcher. The 911 dispatcher. And he was like, "Hey, there was a call, blah, blah, blah." He explained the whole story. Can you trace this number? She traced it. She gave him all the information for it. And then he was like, "Okay." So he got the number. He called the phone company. And they were like, "That number has been hard disconnected," meaning they cut the cables years ago.
Whoa.
So that phone cannot make a phone call anymore. But it did.
Oh, my God.
And this happened, I believe, a third night.
Oh, my goodness. A kid?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
So they're getting phone calls, and it was just like no noise or anything. But the cops have to respond to it. So
yeah, because a 911 call.
Yeah, exactly.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
You know, those ghost lines that exist, I don't know if you've heard about that, where it's just like a number that calls. It's like usually a telemarketing call. Yeah. And they just call the numbers that are on this big list. They just go down the entire list for phone numbers that exist. Yeah. But then they cut the line for these things. And some of them, I don't really know what's behind it, but some of them just continue to call. Huh. It's just weird that you cut the line and the phone doesn't exist, but the number is still somehow dialing. I don't know. Weird. That's weird.
You got a couple good ones. You tell it with the Panama stuff. It's crazy.
So, if you don't know about Panama, I'll tell this one really fast. Panama has always been kind of known for its witchcraft and weird stuff that goes on. My mom and my grandmother had family down there for a long time, but then, they passed away. But anyway, my mom and my grandmother go down to Panama, hanging out, and they're staying in Panama City. And they're staying in a hotel in Panama City, and they hear a bunch of commotion outside. It's like 2 a.m, I think, and they're with my great-grandmother, who is now passed away. Rest in peace. But, they're with her. And my great-grandmother, instantly, as soon as she wakes up, 2 a.m, gets down on her knees and starts praying. And my mom is freaking out. And my mom kind of freaks out anyway. Yeah. My mom's freaking out. My mom asks my grandmother, she's like, What's going on? She's like, "You hear?" And my grandmother is like, "You hear that noise?" And my mom's like, "Yeah." And my grandmother goes, "Yeah, those are witches. They go out in the street and they chant. And if they hear there's any news of Christians, devoted Christians out in the street, they come in and they take you out and they kidnap you. You disappear.
Jesus Christ.
And the police, I don't know, Panama isn't very great of a place. And the police just, like, they can't really do anything about it because the police force isn't big enough. It's nighttime and it's in the city, so it's ghetto. They just can't really, they've had trouble getting a lock on these crazy-ass witches that go out at night and chant and kidnap people. It's really weird stuff.
Fucking weird.
So, this is probably one of the best ghost stories I have.
The cabin
from
one?
Panama. Yeah, well, not cabin, but house.
In the woods or whatever.
Yeah, they lived, my grandmother's uncle, when he was really young, it was a long time ago, lived kind of really far outside of Panama City, out in the woods, and there was, like, you know, a couple houses, but not many. And him and his mother always got in fights, and it was a common thing that, you know, they would just argue, and one of them would leave the house. So one night in particular, it was a bad argument. He ran out of the house. It's dark outside, and he goes to the woods, and he's sitting there. He's, like, lying on the ground, just, like, bawling his eyes out. He hears, like, footsteps kind of close to him, but not too close. A good, like, 20 feet away, 25 feet away. He looks up. He, like, sits up and turns and sees this little girl. He's like, that's weird. Why is this little... And then as he's thinking that it's weird that this little girl is out here, he also simultaneously realizes that she's in, like, old, tattered clothes. And she's all gray, super pale and gray. At least he can see in the dark.
Right.
And he can make out that it's a girl, and he can see her facial features and stuff. So he's, like, kind of... He's really freaked out because he's, like, instantly registers, like, this is not normal. This is not a normal little girl.
No.
And he looks at her, and because Panama is so rich with, you know, witch and stuff that's so ingrained in their history, he kind of is, like, already on edge because it could be something demonic in his head.
Right.
And he looks at her, and she's, like, waving him to come over, telling him to come over with her hand. And he like looks at her, and she's got this weird look on her face, something that's like not like a normal little girl when telling you to come over if she wanted you to play or whatever would not look like this.
Right.
Something sinister, I guess you would put it. And he freaks out. He automatically knows, like, this is not normal. I need to get out of here. And he's 17 at the time, way faster than any little girl. This girl like looks like she's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And he bolts like as fast as he can running. And he was skinny and tall. So, you know, he was booking it.
Yeah.
And he's running, and he hears walking, like, next to him. Like, running next to him. And he turns and he looks down, and the girl is running right next to him.
Jesus
and
Christ.
He's, like, booking it, and he, like, starts going even faster. Adrenaline's pumping through him. And he looks up, and he just closes his eyes and is sprinting for, like, a good minute. And because he doesn't want to look down because he's terrified. And he looks back down, and she's not there. Just... freaky stuff, man.
It's an excellent advertisement for Panama.
Yeah, everyone get your tickets to Panama now if you're into ghosts. And yeah, it's just ghosts are freaky.
Yeah.
And I guess in that same vein as ghosts, I want to know, Adam, do you believe in aliens?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, me too. I feel like can't.
Like,
there's
odds
no way that they can't.
The odds of Earth being the only life-sustaining planet in the entire universe is
and we know
0.
the universe is ridiculously huge.
Yeah.
So like, if you don't believe in aliens, I don't know how you don't believe in aliens. It has to be pure statistics. Now, here's one thing that I'm not sure I believe, and I don't know if you believe, Adam. Do you believe that aliens have made contact in the past with Earth, have been around?
I don't know. I don't think there's enough proof.
I don't know either. I don't think there's enough evidence. And here's one of the theories that I definitely... One is multiple theories. You know, people think that aliens are really far away. They haven't come yet. You know, statistically it would make sense if they just haven't made it here. Or if aliens exist, but they're on the same path we are. Like they're as technologically advanced as we are.
Yeah.
But I heard a theory... a while back ago that we are the pioneering species. That some guy said that he is sure that we are the farthest ahead. He believes in aliens; they no doubt exist, but he believes that we are the ones. Yeah, and he also believes that, like, you know, it's part of our destiny to go and spread technology, and this, you know, once we figure out as humanity how to get along in a utopian sense.
Yeah.
It's our mission as humans to spread that. And I don't know about that, but I might be able to believe, it might be plausible that, we are the farthest along, at least.
I can see that for
Makes
sure.
sense.
Yeah.
So,
All right, let's bring it back down to earth a little bit. We should talk about
bring it back down to earth. Really back down to earth.
The LA fires right now are
huge. If
insane.
you saw the video of the traffic on the, I think it's like the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, it's on the 101.
Yeah,
101,
it's just. It looks like a volcano with lava coming out of it.
Yeah, it's insane.
It is ridiculous.
Entire
Everything is on
completely
fire.
on fire.
I think Bel Air is on fire now.
Yeah.
Just everything is on fire. It's terrifying. And I think certain parts, depending on where you are, there's a fire to the east and a fire to the west. So you're just getting closed in on.
Yeah, so like the whole coast from Ventura up to Santa Barbara is like completely covered, except for some areas of Santa Barbara are still safe.
Jeez. I would want to live right by the ocean.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is, this isn't even the biggest one. This is, I think, the 5th worst.
Jeez. The 5th? What's 4?
I don't know.
1?
I don't know.
Jeez, man.
I have it right here, actually. It was called the Cedar Fires in 2003 in San Diego.
Wow.
273,246 acres
Jesus
were burned.
Christ.
2,800 structures were destroyed and 15 people died.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's
crazy.
Insane.
Fires
are terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
They are. It's ridiculous how fast they spread too, especially with winds. They just pick up and burn everything.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's been a while since there's been a fire there. So the problem was there was all this fuel, like all these dead plants, just building up, and this was kind of nature's way of saying, hey,
I'm still in control.
Burn real quick.
It's kind of weird because as humans we like to believe that our impact on the world is a lot more significant than it really is most times. Mm-hmm. Because I've always sided with we do need to take care of the world for our sake and for its sake, just because it's the place that we live and we should respect it. You wouldn't throw trash into your house and live in garbage. That would be gross. And but we still also have to keep in mind that as much as we think we are significant to Mother Nature, she can still wipe us out in ridiculous numbers. Anytime she wants. Look at the hurricanes that happened this year. Multiple hurricanes. Puerto Rico is destroyed. And then the fires on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. It doesn't just go with the ocean. We can just start a fire. Mother Nature can just go, yeah, I'm sick of you being here. and just wipe us out. Easy. Earthquakes. Some guy said, what if the big one, they always talk about the big one in California, the big earthquake. Yeah. The earthquake to end all earthquakes. What if that happened, the big earthquake happened while these fires were going? Roads closed, damaged, people can't get out. That would be awful. Just awful.
That'd be crazy.
Man, this is a pretty bleak subject.
Yeah. Hey, I'm pissed.
Why are you pissed?
Fucking pissed.
Why are you pissed, man?
Because gyms are ridiculously expensive.
I know. Why does it cost so much to work out? All I want to do is lift some weights, man.
We both go to a UFit, which is, it's not really like a gym. It's like one of those health clubs.
Yeah.
But
it's
they have, it's $10 a month, super cheap, and they have everything we need at the minimum.
Yeah.
And we were both looking to kind of upgrade and more of a powerlifting,
get a little more serious
style gym. Yeah. So we're looking at a gym. What was it? Movement Gym in Marietta.
Yeah. MVMNT.
Yeah, and so we were looking at it, and we were like, oh, this looks great. And we were looking at the prices, and it was like $150 a year, we thought.
Yeah. We were like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, we were like, that's not too bad. We're paying like $120 now.
It's like $15 a month.
Yeah, easy. Not even. And then we were talking to Jillian, Aiden's boyfriend's dad. He was like, oh, it's $150 a month.
We were like, oh,
okay.
Never mind.
Okay, never mind. And we kept looking at gyms, and how ridiculously expensive.
They're just ridiculous.
Why does it cost $150 a month per person to upkeep these gyms?
I don't know. And most of them are just in warehouses.
You don't have to maintain weights.
Yeah.
They just are there.
They're just in warehouses.
Heavy metals.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fuck. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because you have people teaching the classes, but still, they're making a killing. These CrossFit gyms have to be making a killing.
Yeah, they have. I just got a business idea. I'm going to open a gym. I'm going to open a gym. I'm going to get rich off of gym.
All we have to do is
just be a little cheaper than everyone else.
We just gotta go get a warehouse, rent out a warehouse, buy some Rogue Fitness squat racks. And some Rogue Fitness, rubber weights because people need to drop them when they do cleans and squat cleans and all that stuff. And you just need to do that.
Yeah.
That just sounds...
All right, we're opening a gym.
Yeah, why not?
A&A gym.
We'll call it,
It's not bad.
Well, we can call it the What Are You Talking About Gym? But I think there really is a lot of money in some CrossFit gym that can open up and offer you a membership for even $30 a month.
Yeah.
That would be so many members.
Oh, for sure, especially in this area. Because there's a couple gyms that are that price, and people go to them.
Yeah, especially like
people
normal gyms.
People on this earth right now are paying $150 a month for a gym.
Exactly, and if they could get the exact same gym,
that's almost $2,000 a year. Yeah, in gym,
that's ridiculous.
You could just build your own gym. Yeah, for that price.
You
Full
really
squat
could.
Rack, nice barbell, nice weights, nice dumbbells.
I think a Rogue Fitness squat rack alone is about $300, $400. So with almost 2 months payment, you could buy a squat rack. Yeah. Why are people doing this? Maybe because the classes, maybe because they teach you how to do it. I mean, maybe. But you got YouTube, man. Yeah, and you build a home gym.
Get a coach or whatever.
Yeah, and you can go out whenever you want. Go out and do it. I guess they need motivation because a lot of people need motivation too. We're talking from two people who are like specifically motivated by our own efforts to be fit. And I think a lot of people aren't, and I think that's how they make their money. Like, listen, you can be a part of the clan. You can be a part of the clan and get fit, dude. Yeah. And honestly, you can hate on CrossFit or, as much as you want, but it gets results. It works. People who do CrossFit are in really good shape. Even the older people get in a lot better shape than they would be doing anything else. Yeah. So, you can't really argue with it.
Yeah, so to wrap that up, gyms are ridiculously expensive. You should all open your own gyms.
Somebody out there, if you want to hit us up with a $30 a month membership,
you can work out in my garage.
We'll hit you up. Listen, CrossFit gyms in the Atlanta area. If you want to give me and Adam a $30 membership, we'll give you a sponsorship on our podcast. No charge, just $30 a month for us. Just a little special hookup. Just a little special hookup for us. And we'll give you a little sponsorship.
So between last podcast, episode 2, and this one, we posted it in a few places for fan questions. So we were going to talk about...
You guys had a lot to say, man.
A little bit of Q&A. You want to start it off?
Yeah, I guess we'll start off with the first, and I guess we'll start with the best question we received. And that is pegging gay? You don't know what pegging is. If I'm not mistaken,
it's a girl fucks you with a dildo.
Yeah, it's when a girl puts on a strap on,
whatever,
and just puts it in your butt, rams you hard as hell. Yeah. And
I don't know.
Honestly, if a girl's doing it,
it's weird.
It's weird, but it's not gay. I'd have to vote not gay.
Not gay. All right, next question.
Next question.
Is Santa real?
And by God, he is fucking real. Maybe the person doesn't exist. Maybe Santa Claus, the human being, doesn't exist. But the spirit of mother... If Jesus is fucking real, Santa Claus is real.
I don't think Jesus is real. Well, wait, Jesus was a real person.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Oh, well, maybe not then. Maybe I can't... If the Holy Spirit is real, Santa Claus is real.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Santa's not real.
I vote yes. Santa Claus is the baddest motherfucker, and he's real as shit.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's right. Christmas.
Aiden, what's your opinion on Christmas?
Oh my God! So this goes along with the last question.
Yeah.
1, if you don't believe in Santa Claus, you're borderline a Christmas hater. Yeah. Borderline. You're close. There's a thin line.
Even if it's like a sarcastic believe in Santa, like in front of kids or whatever, it's like, I can't wait for Santa to bring me the presents or whatever. Yeah, man. Ridiculous.
But if you're a Christmas hater, let me tell you something.
Burn in hell.
Let me tell you something. If you're a Christmas hater. If you're a Christmas hater, I will personally arm myself up with my Christmas gifts, and I will punish you. I will kill you. If you're a Christmas hater. Listen, you don't have to celebrate Christmas. If it's against your religious beliefs, I respect it. But you respect Christmas. Okay? Respect Christmas. You respect it.
You better respect
If you do Christmas. Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, you're a Jew, or you're from anywhere other in the world, if you're from China, and you're like, I don't believe in Christmas, listen up. You respect the motherfucking holiday.
You respect the man wearing the red and white.
Exactly. You respect the beard. He gives you presents. And if you don't believe in Christmas, you're not getting a present. I'm sorry. Sucks. I'm not saying happy holidays either. I'm not doing it. I don't care.
No, I don't care.
It's Christmas time.
Here's the thing.
December 25th. It's Christmas time.
If someone came up to me and was like, "Happy Hanukkah," I'd be like, "Oh."
I'd be like, "Happy Hanukkah,
Yeah.
bro." I'd
Why-
be like, "Hell yeah."
Why is that a problem?
But what I celebrate
Christmas because it's the majority.
What I celebrate is I celebrate here in America. I celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate those other holidays. So I feel like if I said Happy Kwanzaa to everybody that walked by me during Christmas time, I'd be like disrespectful. I don't know anything about Kwanzaa. If they said it to me,
I don't think anyone knows anything about Kwanzaa. What is Kwanzaa? Because I don't know.
If they say Happy Kwanzaa to me or Happy Hanukkah, I'll be like, Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Good
right,
job. You
exactly.
you do you, bro. You do you, Jew, bro. But if I'm just talking to some normal guy during Christmas time, it's Merry fucking Christmas, dude. Like, say Merry Christmas. And also, employers, don't persecute your employees for saying Merry Christmas.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's stock.
Can't believe that.
Ever since Christmas existed, we've been saying Merry Christmas. You don't see people decorate in Home Depot. Do you see any freaking 8-candle, whatever they call it? Menorah. That's so disrespectful. You don't see menorah blow-ups. Who's putting a menorah in their front yard?
I mean, you can.
You can do it if you want, but we see Christmas decoration, Christmas lights. They're not called Hanukkah lights. They're called Christmas lights, and they're colored red and fucking green. Don't hate on my Christmas. That's how I feel about Christmas haters. If you're a Christmas hater, just get out of America. Go live somewhere else where they celebrate a stupid holiday.
Next question. Should weed be legal? Yes.
100% yes. And also, it should be grandfathered in. People who got arrested and are in jail currently for just carrying weed. Come on.
Carrying, I don't know. See, here's
for possession.
I disagree on that.
For possession.
If they were in jail for selling or distribution or whatever, no, I don't think so. Because at the time it was the big.
Yeah, but
it was
like,
big illegal.
But I don't know, man. Because like, I just don't know. I just don't know on that debate. I think you should be grandfathered in if you're just distribution and just possession.
I could maybe get along.
But I mean, like, if you're also a murderer and also doing other illegal things, then probably not. You should probably still be in jail.
Yeah. Next question: what are trashy piercings?
Trashy piercings. I don't really know if I can comment on this because one, I'm not a female, and also I don't really care where you have a piercing.
I mean, I personally think that the huge gauges, like the big ones, are kind of.
I guess they're not like trashy.
But again,
not
that.
They're not like attractive, I guess.
I mean, do whatever you want,
man.
But I don't think it's.
I don't think if you have a trashing in any specific place that you're trashy. Oh, wait, did I say trashing? If you have a piercing in a specific place, no matter where it is, I really don't.
No, I don't
care. I don't discriminate.
Do whatever you want.
Pierce wherever you want. Pierce away. Yeah. It's just like tattoos. It's like if you have a tramp stamp, you're not a slut. You just got a tattoo. Listen. This is my theory. Everyone who has a tramp stamp is not a slut.
Okay.
But I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Everyone who has a tramp stamp is not a slut. But like every slut has a tramp stamp. There we go. Everyone who is a slut does not have a tramp stamp, but every slut has a tramp stamp.
Sluts in my time with no tramp stamps.
What?
Met a few sluts with no tramp stamps.
Oh, they're just not old enough, I guess, or not smart enough.
Or broke.
Yeah. At some point, if you're a slut, you get a tramp stamp. But if you have a tramp stamp, you're not conversely a slut.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Favorite social media app? It's got to be Snapchat for me.
Yeah, Snapchat or Instagram. Probably Snapchat.
Those are really the only two I use.
I think everybody copied the stories of Snapchat, and that's why I respect Snapchat more. They were the first to think of it, and then everyone was like, oh, we got it too now.
They're switching to the Instagram stories, and
it's like, no.
It's fucking stupid. It's not as good.
I go to Snapchat to see stories, not to Instagram.
Yep.
I want to see pictures on Instagram.
We got the ask question, future plans. I don't really know what that's pertaining to, if they're talking about the podcast or us. So we can talk about both.
Plans are get money. That's about it.
Yeah.
Go to school, get money.
Yeah. Pretty much. I'm gonna be going into the Army sometime soon. Doing that.
Pretty basic for our individual, wants. We just kind of both want to. You want to go in the Army? I want to get done with school finally. Jesus Christ, buy a new car maybe when I get out of school.
Yeah, and then as far as a podcast,
we definitely want to get video in at least
aside,
by January.
Aside
or
from
February.
all that stuff, I don't really know. I think we're just gonna.
Yeah, we just want to keep
where it
on
goes.
rocking. We want as much support as possible. Tell your friends, please. Please download. Please download the podcast.
Tell your friends.
And other than that, we're just kind of gauged on going week by week, taking it as it comes. We don't really want to look too far in the future, other than like video in January and going live as soon as possible.
Right.
We're not really looking forward to anything. I mean, as far as platform goes, we'll stay the same.
Yeah, I think so. Next question was, when is the podcast getting video?
We just addressed that.
January.
January. By late January is our main goal, our hope.
Yeah.
We're praying. We're trying to get a really good video camera. We're researching and stuff. And, that's basically when we get it by late January, early February. Yeah. And that's our goal.
I think this next one we might get heated.
This might cause a huge...
warning.
I'm glad we saved this for last because we might not be friends. You know what? For future plans, I changed that. After this discussion, the podcast might end.
Yeah.
We might never do another. Episode 3 might be where it ends. We don't know right now.
Aiden, I actually don't know your opinion, but if it's wrong, I'm gonna get loud.
Oh my god.
Aiden, is water wet?
No, I've been thinking about this ever since we got this question. I've been thinking about it real hard. And I just don't think water is wet.
Aiden, it's water.
Yeah.
Water's wet.
No, listen. Hear me out. I think water makes things wet, but it is not wet itself because it is the wet.
What do you mean it is the wet?
It is water is the thing that...
Wet is a state, it's not an object.
Okay. Can juice get wet with water? If you pour water
juice is wet too, it's a liquid!
If you pour water on juice, can it get wet? Because it's just got
It's
more...
already wet!
Is it more wet if you put more water in it?
Wet is either it's wet or dry.
No. That's a no. You can be completely wet, you can be soaked, you can be slightly wet, damp.
Well, yeah, but when we're talking about a liquid, the liquid's wet.
Oh, yeah?
You can't get more wet than the liquid.
What about ketchup? Do you get wet with ketchup?
I don't
And
know.
if you pour water on the ketchup, is the ketchup wet?
Ketchup's definitely wet then.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's watered down.
No, well,
Watered
yeah.
yeah, you just
fucking
agreed
wet.
to it. It's watered down
It's still wet.
ketchup. The water is not wet because the water is the wetifier.
Are you fucking retarded?
Listen, would you consider... This is a bad analogy. When you shoot a bullet at someone and it hits something, you would consider that thing shot.
Yes.
But is the bullet, before it is shot?
No, it's not the same thing.
It's a bullet.
It's not the same thing.
It's a bullet either way.
Yeah.
So why is it shot at one point and not shot at the other point?
Aiden, water's wet!
Water's not wet. Okay. I don't know how we argue this. Like, I can't get your head in my head to see where I'm coming from. Like, everything has water in it, right?
No, not everything.
Almost everything.
No.
Has some amount of water in it.
No.
Me and you, our skin right now has water.
Okay.
It's made up of water.
Okay.
So, is our skin wet? Even though if you went and dove in a pool, you'd be wet?
I think that's where we're going to end the podcast today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you next week.